we've touched on a lot of great things about Vietnam already, but I guess just in general, what do you like about living in Vietnam?
I'd say the people, and I noticed that when I moved to Thailand, just how friendly and welcoming they are. I mean, people like to say, oh, I like the history of the place. I'm not really one of those people. Like I said, I haven't done the museums and stuff yet, just because I'm not here for a short amount of time. I know if I do want to get it done, I do have the time to get it done.
Yeah.
Whether I do or not, that's another question. But for me, it's all about the people, because if you're an extrovert or just a social person, you're someone who likes meeting people, I feel like it's the most important thing about a place. And they are so different. It's not like, oh, they're just a bit friendly. Like these people, you don't have to talk to them. You can just drive past someone and see them smile and maybe wave at you. And just a little interaction like that on your way to work can set your day right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd say my favourite thing about living here is the people. I'd say ease of living, which you could probably gauge from what I've mentioned about the things here, like the maids and being able to order food, and taxis are cheaper. I suppose that doesn't.
Everything's cheaper,
And life is easier when you can afford those things that usually cost more when you're back home. So again, the fact that things are cheaper here makes your life easier.
Yeah.
So you got the people, the ease of just enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
The weather's nice. I'm from the UK. It's fucking cold and shit all the time. So I mean, it's probably a bit too hot for my liking. If it was up to me, I'd probably touch it down like 5 degrees or
Fahrenheit. Yeah. But yeah, we can just Celsius. So like Celsius here, the normal day is like, in the morning it'll probably start out at like 27. By midday it'll get up to like 32, 33. And then at nighttime it'll probably come down to about 30. And then Fahrenheit, that's like morning starting at 80, and then it getting up into the 90s, and then it coming back down to like 90. But it's humid as well, right? There's humidity.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a wet heat, which makes you a little sweaty, but you get used to that humidity.
I guess it's you're going to compare where you live to living here, and what you prefer, and whether I like the humidity or whether is it too hot for me to live here. It's just I'm going to always compare it to where I'm born, and I just definitely prefer the climate here.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you see the sun most days, unless it's like a really cloudy day, it's just nice to drive to work and see the sun. And you know, I know on days when it's cloudy here, I can just feel myself just like, and I have to remind myself I'm like that. Probably 8 months a year in the UK. Yeah. And it all comes down to one simple thing, which is the sun isn't coming through the clouds. Yeah. And the sky just looks miserable.
I've been absolutely spoiled in LA.
Yeah, so that's probably not something that you'd touch on if I was asking you what you liked about it. I suppose weather's not really good.
No, weather would be one of the things I would say would be a drawback.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's the weather is not, it's good, and for me it's not like oppressive enough where it would be something where I'd be like, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
You definitely get used to it, like you adapt.
Also, another thing I like how the locals here, there's a big drinking culture. More, I mean, the women drink definitely, but the men, they love to get together after work, and you can see how many cans they've drank. So what happens in the bars here, so they know how many beers you've drank, they just put the empties under the table, so you can come into a bar and you can see how drunk the guys are, not by their faces, but just how many empty cans they've got under the table. And they're always cheersing, one high back, yo! Yeah. They're making each other drink more. And they love football as well. He'll call it soccer because he's an idiot. But they're obsessed with football, they're obsessed with drinking, which it's the same as the UK. So
speaking of them, all right, yo.
Yeah. Get on.
Mo hi bye yo. Jump on jump. That's what the Vietnamese will say when they want you to drink 100% of it. Jump on jump.
That's what Tyler says as well when he wants you to drink 100% of it. And this is what I do when people ask me to do it.
Yeah, I claim the Vietnamese say that. It's really just me saying that to them. Yeah, those are some pretty solid things about living in Vietnam. The people, for sure.
Weather, not so solid.
Weather, but it's good enough. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, it's not... The only thing that I would say with regards to the weather that's like not that cool, or
the rainy season.
Yeah, the monsoons, man. Like
the rainy season would piss a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off from time to time, but like I said,
especially in certain neighborhoods that are prone to flooding.
But if you asked me now, if I had this power where I could take away the rainy season and just every day was dry season, I wouldn't, because I like the contrast.
Yeah.
And I like the things that I see on the way to work. I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's almost like
people probably hate me for having that power and choosing not to change it, but I think it'd be the right decision for me, at least.
You need the presence of bad things to appreciate the good things.
And it goes back to these places like Shanghai or probably Singapore or any developed place. Again, everything's predictable. I don't know if it's going to rain tomorrow. It's probably going to. It could rain.
Probably.
But the fact that I don't know, it does make your day more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. How's the food in Vietnam? How do you like Vietnamese food?
So I like, I said already about the...
You touched on the street food.
I was talking, I do like the Vietnamese food.
Dishes.
I like pho, which is like a beef noodle broth.
It's like a soup, yeah.
That's really nice, but I find when I eat it, it's not enough calories, and I'm trying to gain weight, so it's one of those meals that I have when I want it rather than what I need for me. So I love that. I'd eat it every day. I could eat it, maybe not every meal, but it's something that I can eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, hungover. It just makes you feel like you're healing yourself.
Yeah.
So it's such a nice meal. But I just wish it had more protein in it.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be eating it more. Like I said, I have it when I want it rather than like as a scheduled meal that I should be having every day.
Yeah.
Vietnamese food, com tam's nice.
Yeah.
Which is basically braised pork.
Yeah, like a pork chop, grilled pork chop.
Comes with rice, fried egg, and
like some cucumbers.
It comes with fish sauce, which is like, I didn't know it was fish sauce for a long time until I asked somebody to pass me the chili sauce, and they was like, "Do you mean the fish sauce?" And I was like, and I'm not really a big fan of fish, especially not fish sauce.
Yeah.
On pork.
Did you ever smell it before you tried it? You just poured it on?
I could smell it probably when it's on. I just thought, this is nice chili sauce.
Yeah.
So I love it, and I'm glad that I didn't know it was fish sauce before. I mean, I would have tried it by now, but I think it was a good introduction thinking it was chili sauce.
Yeah.
But now I love that stuff. Like, it still goes all over my food when I get it.
I was put off when I first...
Like fish sauce?
I was put off by the smell of it. I didn't really care that it was sauce.
Are you a fish? Do you like seafood?
I like fish, yeah. I grew up in Redondo Beach, so there's a lot of seafood there, and but when I smell, it's like fermented fish.
Oh, don't say that.
And it's just like the scent of it, especially when they're cooking with it. It's pungent. It's dank in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, I always use dank with you guys to mean good things, but this is dank in like a gross smelling way.
We'd say, in the UK we'd say rank.
Yeah, rank.
For something that's just, you say that.
We say rank too.
It might be one from the dictionary, we're claiming it's slang.
Yeah.
It's probably a real word.
But it's like, that's one of the first smells that hits you when you first get here to Vietnam, is the fish sauce cooking smell. And it's very unique. It's not something you're going to smell in the West. So when I knew that sauce was the source of that smell,
the sauce was the sauce of the smell.
The source. When I knew that sauce was the source of the smell, I wasn't even down to try it. I would eat my cum tam with just soy sauce, and it was kind of dry, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. And I would never tried dishes that were kind of dependent on having fish sauce on it for like the first 2 years that I lived here, really, and I've lived here 5 years now. But then finally I just said, you know what?
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to dump this fish sauce in. I'm not going to smell it.
Just swim in it.
I'm not going to smell it before, but I'm just going to dump it in and just eat the food.
Yeah.
And once I did that, and I just started tasting how much better it was,
Yeah.
like, and how much, you know.
There's a lot of chili in there as well.
Yeah.
It can just be. There's I don't know what else is in there. But
Well,
you see at least the chili flakes, and
Yeah.
it's spicy, which adds to the flavour or maybe takes away from. And it doesn't taste bad. It's one of those things that tastes much nicer. It doesn't taste anything like it smells to me.
Yeah.
So you're not drinking the stuff. This is only food. It's nice to me at least.
It is.
As
Nice.
somebody who doesn't eat fish, I do cod haddock. I can eat sushi, but sometimes I eat fish, and I'm just like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
So a non seafood, like, I don't really like seafood, and this fish sauce it can go in any of my food really.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It just fucking stink though. It stinks when people are cooking it, especially in an apartment.
Yeah.
I know it was at Brad's girlfriend was cooking, and we was both just went in another room. We was like,
Yeah.
when's she done with this fish sauce?
Oh yeah.
Open the fucking windows.
What about the coffee? How's the coffee here in Vietnam?
It's the strongest coffee you'll try anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And they have it with like cafe sua da.
Yeah.
You've got your coffee. Sua is like a condensed milk, which is like syrup. It'll take a while to come out of the tin that they pour it from because it's. I mean, how thick is it? Yeah. How what could you compare it to? It's like. I knew before asking that cut. It's like
like syrup.
It's like maple syrup.
Yeah, it's like
you know,
syrup.
you can see it comes out. It looks like it's just solid. It takes a while.
Yeah.
And it sounds. It's just
Some
like
people.
really.
But yeah, the condensed milk.
It's like sugar and milk combined, so you don't need any extra sugar. And when I first tried.
Okay. We're done. We're done. Yeah.
So it's like very sweet, but the we have to cut this bit. Keep a bit of laughing in. This is too much. Yeah, so the coffee's strong as shit. Yeah, so the coffee's the strongest. I was a big coffee drinker in the UK. The coffee here is just, you only need one a day. It's like rocket fuel. So the sewer that we've stopped laughing about now. It's like milk and sugar combined, so it's like a really sweet. It'll probably sit like this deep at the bottom of the cup, and then they throw in the. It's like really bitter coffee, but you do get used to it, especially if you drink coffee black anyway. So I've switched over now because I just don't want that much sugar in my coffee. But I do
You
really.
have the black coffee now?
Yeah, but the first two sips are like, you can miss the sugar.
Yeah, for sure.
But also another reason why I've switched is because you get different amounts from different places. So sometimes if they give me too much of the sewer, it's like just too sweet and it ruins it. Or at least when I have the black coffee, it's a bit bitter, but I'm getting the same thing every time. It's drinkable. But yeah, like, it's just the taste, the smell. It almost smells like chocolate in a way.
Yeah.
It's got like a chocolatey scent to it.
Yeah.
And it just, if you're an addict, don't move here, because I go to bed kind of like thinking, I can't wait to wake up and have a coffee because it's that good.
Yeah. No, it's very good coffee. I also get the black coffee, no sugar, but I've always drank black
It's
coffee.
iced coffee. I don't know if that's obvious, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of Starbucks here where you can still get like a latte, like hot drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't want to get your coffee from there. You want to go to and how much is a coffee? Like 15k, something like that.
Yeah, I usually get coffee for 10k.
What's that, dollars? Like
It's like 40 cents.
Yeah, not dollars.
40 cents, yeah.
But coffee's, if you're a coffee drinker, like,
and
it is a thing that you asked me if I like the coffee here.
Yeah.
But when I've been asked in the past, like, what do I like about Vietnam? Coffee is something I forgot to bring it up, but coffee's definitely. It sounds like a stupid reason to like live to move here at least, but it's definitely something I love about living here. The coffee's so good, and you definitely miss it if I go back home and I'm on instant coffee, or even going to like Costa or Starbucks, I'm like, this shit can't even pull me out of bed anymore.
Yeah. And you definitely want the iced coffee here too. It's so hot.
And they also give you the trada.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like a palate cleanser. They give you iced tea.
Yeah.
So you can have a sip of your coffee. Because it's very strong, especially if you got the sugar with it. So you're not drinking it as quick as you would a coffee in the UK, because you got to just race yourself to work.
Yeah.
You enjoy it. You have a sip, and then you can have a bit of tea to wash it down. The tea's really nice. Like, cleanses the palate. You go again for the coffee. The coffee actually gets nicer or more enjoyable as the ice starts to melt into it, because it sort of tones it down a bit. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the coffee's really, really good.
How would you describe Saigon as a city? Like Ho Chi Minh City. Saigon is Ho Chi Minh City, by the way, for those who don't know.
It's chaos. It's madness. But when I go on holiday from here, I call it like holiday on holiday, because just living here, I feel like I'm on holiday all the time.
Yeah.
But if I go to somewhere like, let's say like a Bali or like an island in Thailand, as soon as I land back in, when you land back home, when I land back in Manchester Airport, it's like, it's nice to get home, but you're kind of like,
yeah.
Whereas here, I've had a great time, but I'm so happy to be back here.
Yeah.
And it's busy, it's bubbling, but that's what I like. I just love how at any time of the day you can go out and find something to do. It's busy, it's not like things don't shut too early. I've met people who like live up north or in like the Midlands of Vietnam, and they find the place a bit too chaotic for them, but each to their own. For me, I'm a city guy, city boy. And I definitely like the how busy it is here, and how there's always something going on.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bustling city. I agree.
100%.
I'm from LA. I wanted to be in a big city, and it definitely felt very natural for me to be here. And there's what a big city offers too, that somewhere like Da Nang or Nha Trang or smaller places like that is just variety. You know what I mean? You got so many different restaurants.
Also variety in terms of the people as well. If you're in a smaller place, which it's nice to go out and keep bumping into people, without having to say, hey, meet you at this place. But here, you can go out and just meet new people all the time. You're never going to meet every person in this city, because there's just so many people here. Like I said before, I think there's like 9 million people now in Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah.
You meet new expats, new locals. It's just constant, like a conveyor belt of like food places to try, bars to go to, people to meet.
I think the expat community here is about 20 or 30,000, which is sizable.
But it's also changed, and you've got people who've been here for like 5 years, 10 years. They come home, you've got new people arriving, so with that amount of people, you're always going to meet new people and stuff like that.
For sure. So what's it like coming to Vietnam and Saigon and trying to make friends? I know you came out here with one friend already, but for someone who's maybe coming out here alone and worried about, hey, is it easy to make friends? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I found myself meeting like South Africans for the first time.
Me too.
And not Irish people for the first time, but a lot of Irish people. There's a lot of South Africans, a lot of Irish people here. I've met a few German people. Basically, what the point I'm trying to get to is, I'll meet, say, a German person here, and I'll meet another German person here. I'll be like, wow, every German person meet is great. Like, they're really good people. Same with Irish people, same with South Africans. And what it is it's not the people from Germany, it's not the people from Ireland, it's the people who've travelled to this place. because you've got something in common straight away, that you're willing to leave where you live and move to a different place.
Mm-hmm.
You also, if you do live here, you obviously like this place because you chose to live here. You wasn't born here.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like there's a sort of a bit of a bias with the people I meet here, because everyone I meet is really friendly and outgoing, and no one's judgmental, and everyone's trying to get along and make new friends and stuff. There's no cliques. Everyone's willing to meet new people no matter where they're from.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you that every South African I met is great, every German person I met is great, every Irish person I met is great, which it's not true for everybody from those places, but for me it's true for everybody I've met here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could go away from England saying, I don't really like some of the people in England, but all the English people I meet here are great, and it's because of the same reason.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Americans. I don't know why I'm friends with them. No, I'm joking. I don't think I've met Americans before, but briefly. You don't really bump into them, at least not in Manchester.
Yeah.
I don't think you meet many British people in LA.
No,
I know there's less of us, but the UK, it's not a place where...
I've never met a South African before I came here.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but in Manchester it's not a place where you'd even hear an American in the street speaking. I've never met an American before.
Yeah.
But you might have misconceptions about people because of where they're from.
Yeah.
And then you come here, your misconceptions might be right about from where they are from. But as you asked me, like, how easy is it to make friends? I feel like everybody here's got the same values. Yeah. In
for sure.
It's easy to make friends. Let's say.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable. It's not. You don't have to go out of your way. You go to a bar a few times. You see the same faces. Before you know it, you're playing pool together, buying each other drinks. You're in a pool league.
Yeah.
I played basketball. There's everyone's. You know what I mean? There's like an effort for people to create clubs within the expat community.
Yeah.
Because we need to do that. So it's not something that happened in my hometown, because they already exist and it probably came through school or like friendship groups from friends when you were much younger. Whereas here, these people, it's already set up. You've got football clubs, pool clubs, basketball clubs. There's a lot of cycling that goes on in Tauria really early in the morning. So yeah, it's very. I'd say it's very easy to make friends here.
And I think also most of us come here without our families.
Yeah.
So your friends here kind of become your family. So I think you develop maybe even stronger bonds with the friends that you make here than you would maybe in your home countries, because you're out here and you're connecting on a different level that you wouldn't be connecting on there. And it's just I completely agree with you. It's very easy to make friends here. You're always whenever you see a non-Vietnamese face here, you're like, I'm curious, where are they from?
Yeah.
Right? We've talked about a lot of the great things about Vietnam, but I want to make this a little bit more balanced. So are there any things about Vietnam that you don't like?
Honestly, I feel like the things that I'd probably say more of the things that I think other people wouldn't like. Because I am struggling to think of things that I don't like right now. Yeah. Actually, I was just showing Tyler one of the balconies we got in here, and there's a group of people in the corner of this place, and they sing karaoke, which is, what Vietnamese karaoke. Yeah. It doesn't sound nice. I'm not saying they're bad singers. They are bad singers.
There's a short on my channel of that, by the way, where they just bust out the karaoke.
Yeah, they don't sing it in their apartment. They open the doors. They get out the big speaker.
On the streets.
It's very it sounds like a bag of cats just being strangled. And the other night, it was getting on for like 10 o'clock. I wasn't in work the next day, but I was thinking, there's got to be a fucking limit on this. I had a few eggs in the fridge, so I thought if they go past 11, they're getting covered in them. So, but that's like, honestly, any problem that I have with this place, it's also something that makes the place, like with the rain. obviously I don't want to get piss wet through on the way to work, but again, it adds to living here, as does the karaoke. If I'm in a good mood and I just see some man, he's shirtless, he's like 72, and he's just singing to the street with his boombox.
Yeah.
He's on his own, and he should probably be singing in the shower by himself, but he's just emitting his voice to everybody on bikes passing by the street. I'll look and that'll make my day.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're trying to sleep and it's getting a bit late, it's going to piss you off.
Yeah. What about the traffic?
Traffic, again, if it's taking you longer to get home than it did the day before, you're going to be like, fuck, like, I'm not going to be home for another 10 minutes, and then it starts to rain.
Yeah.
But again, to be able to drive a bike freely in this city means that there's less cars, and then with that comes more bikes, with that comes traffic. It's like you can't have everything you want.
Yeah.
To be able to just jump on a bike and fly around because everybody else is doing it, and you're all... If there were so many cars on the road, driving a bike here wouldn't be as pleasant of an experience.
Yeah.
But obviously during rush hour, when there's a lot of bikes, it can get a bit, especially when it's hot and you've got a t-shirt on, you didn't plan to be in traffic for so long, you might start to get burnt and stuff like that. But again, it's something that on the right day at the right time, you'll really enjoy being a part of.
Yeah.
But if it catches you when you're in a rush, obviously, but you get traffic in all places.
Yeah.
It's like, do you prefer just sitting
in all places that have enough people?
Yeah. Do you prefer sitting in the car listening to the radio, just like with your wipers on, like just bumper to bumper moving shortly, or do you prefer like seeing people with dogs on the back of the bike and like babies and stuff, and like you turn around,
people on one bike,
and then there's people waving at you and shit. You're stuck in traffic, but
little kids saying hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if maybe if you lived here from birth, you might prefer to be in a car in a different country with the wipers on, listening. Oh, I've got my own radio, I've got my own songs on, I've got my Spotify linked up. Yeah. But I guess it's just...
I think to that point too is that a lot of people think the grass is always greener on the other side, right? So you kind of seek whatever you don't have. And when I talk to a lot of people who live, like a lot of local Vietnamese or like Filipino people, they're always so shocked about, like, why would you move to Vietnam? Yeah. It's like, well, because I grew up in a place where everything to me was very, normal and mundane and boring, and I wanted to be in a place that was different and exciting. For you, this place is normal and mundane and boring, and being in America would be exciting.
But I think to be objective about, let's say, the traffic situation, you're going to get stuck in traffic in any city, right? Any busy city in rush hour. Now, are you going to have a better experience sat in the same confines of your car listening to the same playlist? Or are you going to have a better experience being a bike among other bikes with different people, where you're actually not cut off by a door and a window, where you can actually see people like driving with two people holding a fucking fridge freezer, driving and shit
and
like that.
And you can throw your headphones in for a playlist.
So you got your music, but it's just the crazy things you see sat in traffic is enough for you to get home nice and safe and be relaxed and just be like, it was an ordeal, but I saw a lot today.
Yeah. So, you definitely emphasize the fact that the Vietnamese people are very nice, very amiable. But have you ever experienced Vietnamese people that were, like mean to you or like, unwelcoming, or has that ever been an issue?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any situation like that where I've run into someone and it's got like aggressive or
I don't think most people would want to be aggressive with a guy your size. So. To be fair.
Well, I don't know. Have you had any experience like that? Where...
One time, and I'm also 6'2", 250, but a different type of 250, as you can tell.
250's 250.
Yeah.
I'm not 250.
Yeah. But he.
Wait, you're gonna get this anywhere, as well. Like there's good and bad people in every part of the world. So.
For sure.
But I feel like
it happens less here.
Than I'd say so. In terms of that kind of bad, I just feel like people are genuinely happier here. The expats definitely compared to where we're from.
Yeah.
And the locals they just seem much happier than the locals I bump into when I'm back home.
Right.
Or traveling in Europe or wherever it may be. And
the ones who aren't nice necessarily will probably just ignore you or just leave you alone. Cause
there's an issue with queuing.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Getting in line for Americans.
I don't know, in the UK, when it comes to the bar, we don't have a queue. Do you guys queue up at the bar?
No, you kind of, at America, you just go up to the bar and you kind of flag the bartender.
It's the same in the UK, we all just kind of swarm the bar, there's no I mean, if you're a decent person and you know someone's been there longer than you and you get served first, you might say, oh, he was here before me. But say you're queuing to get out of a car park, a Vietnamese guy or a Vietnamese girl, they'll try and cut you off.
Yeah.
And you just have to go.
They won't even try. They just will. They will cut.
Or if you've got enough space, you can say.
Yeah.
Back up. I was here first.
Yeah, for sure.
So that seems to be something that's
they cut you.
They don't consider that as much. But
that's something that's really annoying to me is when people cut in line.
Yeah.
And then the other kind of pet peeve I have here about the Vietnamese, and it's a minor thing, but it's like such a basic thing too, that getting out of elevators, when I'm getting out of the elevator and Vietnamese people are trying to come in before letting me out, and I'm like, guys, think about this. I'm going to have to get out.
So let me out first.
Let me out. Right, exactly.
And they can see that you're trying to get out.
Or before you have to move yourself in the elevator to let me out.
Yeah.
You might as well just stand where you are, let me out, and then you can come in.
That was one thing I noticed in Shanghai when I was getting off the train. There would be a stop, and people on the train. I think it just makes sense for if I'm on the train and I'm by the door and someone's trying to get off. I get off so that they can get off and I get back on, rather than just stand there dead weight. And I'm trying now. I have to physically move you because you can't. We're sardined in this train. Yeah. So there's no space for them to move in unless they get off the train. So and I feel like when I was in Shanghai, it made me less polite. Yeah. Because I've gone from oh, excuse me, I can. And no one to get off the train, so then I'm pushing people, which I wouldn't like to do. And also holding doors open for people. Yeah. This is something I don't experience in Vietnam, by the way. If I open a door for someone, if the Vietnamese person doesn't speak English, it's at least a bow the head, oh, thank you, or even ganon in their language. In Shanghai, it seemed like I opened a door for someone, they walk through, and it's just head down. There's only so many times you open a door for somebody and they don't say thank you, and you're just right, well. Yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore. Or even just let on to people or wave. I was doing that to expats in Shanghai and also locals.
Even the expats were not acknowledging you.
So I just lost the touch, and then I know when I went back to the UK or when I came back here, I'd see somebody and I'd see them as they was passing, and I go, they're not gonna say hello or give me the hey, how's it going? Yeah. So then I stopped doing it. I'd see them do it. I didn't do it. And I'm like, oh, I've become one of them. Yeah. It's just what happens if you spend so much time in a place like that. You just adapt to the way the people live there. Yeah. And that's a big difference between the people I experience in Shanghai and the people I experience in Ho Chi Minh City. But again, I can't speak for the whole of China or the whole of Shanghai. Just the experience I had there for 6 months.
And all of this. We're not generalizing, this entire country or any entire country.
It's just our experiences.
Yeah, exactly. So, everyone's experience is going to be unique, and.
But I don't think anybody could come here and say that the Vietnamese people aren't friendly.
Yeah.
or
unless they're just a complete, Karen or whatever, that just has a problem with everybody.
Yeah, maybe.
But what advice would you? So if someone was considering moving here, what advice would you give them?
Well, unless they had a remote job or savings, or I suppose without even a remote job now, in terms of a visa to live here now, you need to work in Vietnam
legally.